Good evening. I will call the City of West Bend Common Council meeting to order for October 5th at 6:30. Note that all aldermen are present and accounted for. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I'll note that we have 4 items on the agenda, the first being minutes approval for the regular minutes of September 28th.
Approved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Model. There. Thank you. Any corrections, discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor, so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And then we'll move on to presentations. Presentation of Mayor's 2020 Beautification Awards. We have Mike Faulkner here from Roots and Branches. I'm not sure what your title is, Mike, but all-around great guy. Does that work for you? We'll have you come on up and let us know about our winners.
As Mayor Jenkins said, my name is Mike Faulkner. I'm representing Roots and Branches, which is an organization in the city that one of their goals is to beautify the city through various programs. And so what we'd like to do tonight is recognize 2 of those programs in front of the council this evening. So the first one is the Business Beautification Award. And every year, this is presented through us and West Bend Mutual as our sponsor of this award. And we try to find a business in the city who has really gone above and beyond either in improving or just the display of their business. So we'd like to recognize this year are Stacy and Matt Gehring from Pizza Ranch. They took an old building in a very visible part of the city, which looked terrible and run down, and transferred it into what it is today, and done a very nice job. So Pizza Ranch, Matt and Stacy Gehring is our award winner for this year for the Business Beautification Award. So the second part is the Mayor's Beautification Award, and this has been an annual thing for many years through Roots and Branches and in the city. And there's one resident in each aldermanic district is chosen each year for this particular award. And so this year we have our 8 recipients. 7 of them are here with us this evening. And it was, it's always a fun choice. We have judges that go around the city in each district. So every single street, every single house in the district is looked at for the different criteria that, for this award. So this year, after it was all said and done, these were our selections, and we had a very fun evening going around handing out the awards and presenting the signs. Mayor Jenkins went along with us that evening, and it was a very nice event this year. So what I'd like to do here is just introduce each of the district winners, and then if they're alderperson will stand up as well and be recognized along with them, okay? So one district was not able to be here tonight. That was District 3, and that winner was Louis and Carol Santini at 1620 Schlamer Drive. So they are not here this evening. But the rest of the recipients are District 1, Peter and Ginger Stauber, 1168 North 14th Avenue. So Peter and Ginger, thank you. And I hope all of you had a chance to get through and see at least the pictures of these in the newspaper or on Facebook or on the mayor's page, because all of the houses this year looked great. It's a tribute to all of these homeowners, how beautiful they made their residence this year for this particular event. District number 2 is Arlene Perig, 230 North 7th Avenue. Arlene, yeah. funny, I had so many comments about Arlene's place. Everybody says, oh, that little blue house on 7th Avenue. Love that place. So it was very nice, many nice comments. District 4, District 4, Bruce and Emily Jordan, 1505 Sylvan Way. District 5, Denise and Jeff Skonecki, 1726 Basin Road. Denise is not able to be here tonight, but Jeff is here. District 6, Bill and Jean Summers, 1202 Red Pine Court. District 7, Renee and Ralph Wilberg, 1168 Auburn Road. And District 8, Doug and Jean Stewart, 2818 Killarney Court. Thank you, and congratulations to all the winners, and we appreciate all the efforts on behalf of Roots and Branches and, of course, the city. So we appreciate all that you've done. And Mayor, you want to finish up here? And I appreciate your time, Council, for letting us be able to come here and do this. Thank you.
Sure thing. So I'll move on to agenda item number 3, Mayor's 2020 Beautification Award winners from Roots and Branches. I had a great time going out and visiting everybody. My family definitely visits Pizza Ranch enough. So we're happy to, I was happy to get to go out and really see all the projects and all the beautification that happened. West Penn is a better place when our businesses and residents take pride in our city by beautifying it. And we take pride in recognizing those who truly go above and beyond. So I just wanted to thank you all for coming out and thank you for taking pride in our city. Let's give them one more round of applause. So you're all free to stick around for more exciting city business. Otherwise, we can let you go if you'd like. Thanks for coming out. And with that, I'll move to item number 4, 2021 operating plan for the Business Improvement District. And we have a presentation by Jess.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Wilds, and I'm the Executive Director of the Business Improvement District Bid Board. And it's a pleasure to present you with the 2021 bid operating plan tonight, which was approved by the bid board on September 1st. Bid board president Mike Husar sends his regrets for not being able to attend tonight's meeting, but he also wanted me to share his support of the plan with you. Please let me know if you have any questions as you consider our 2021 operating plan.
Sounds great. I'll ask for a motion.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Motion by Model, second by Allen. Any questions, discussion for Jess?
All right, thank you.
Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the bid operating plan, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And having no further business before the Common Council, I'll adjourn by the call of the chair.
And with that, I will call to order the Finance Committee. First on the agenda, we have the Finance Committee regular minutes for approval of the September 28th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Great. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Second on our list is the, for agenda for consideration, is going to be a presentation by Jay of the preliminary 2021 operating budget plan. So go ahead, Jay. He's here with us, WebEx.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for allowing me to join you by way of WebEx this evening. I'm excited to present the preliminary 2021 operating budget that you have before you. You did receive it Friday, attached to the council agenda, and then just today, a couple of additional documents that I'm going to talk through as part of the presentation, and then attempt to answer any questions that you might have. for me at this time. Process-wise, you all know that there is another meeting scheduled for the following Monday, so Monday, October 12th at 6 p.m. Some of you did ask for some additional details that weren't included in the 112 or so pages that were attached to the agenda, and Carrie and her team is compiling them into a PDF, and we'll have those additional details available for you for review as of Wednesday of this week. So watch for that. We'll send out an email when they get attached to the agenda as well, but some additional details coming, more data behind the budget, and allow you to review it in some more detail with greater understanding. I'm going to talk through, first of all, the document 2021 highlights that I did email to you today. So included in this year's budget is at this time an almost 10% increase, 9.92% increase in the health insurance general fund. We've had a couple of rough years, as you know. We're self-funded, and when we have some not so great health insurance years as a member population, those results indicate that an increase is needed. It's part of the reason we went out for a new consultant, and having Horton join us has been nothing but positive. We're really excited about the work that they've done for us so far. I know Alex was before you all last Monday and presented some new data, and this budget actually shows some of his work already, but still an increase, no doubt, included in the 2021 budget. Net new construction was really positive. We're excited to have a continued growth. This is one of the highest net new construction percentages in the state for municipalities. So the 3.1 construction net new construction percentage shows that development has remained strong. So these are last year's numbers. We did level off a bit in 2020 regarding construction, but anticipate with the development proposals that are planned for 2021 that we'll pick right back up on sustained, continuous, especially in the area of multifamily housing and commercial development. So net new construction numbers, very positive. This 3.1% number equates to about $630,000 of available funds based on net new construction alone. So really good news for the city. The instructions were pretty much the same. The timeline was the same. We did miss the mark on the CIP by a meeting or so. You can see the next bullet indicates that was adopted on September 14th. And then we did, at the mayor and Megan Alderman Kennedy's request, add that additional council meeting to review the budget in some more detail on the 12th. So look forward to having that opportunity with you all. Individual department head meetings, those occurred in a similar but spaced fashion, socially distanced in our large conference room. They concluded on September 22nd. Carrie and myself met with all of the department heads in the general fund departments. We still have the enterprise fund meetings to take place. Now, there's only an elimination of one part-time administrative support position that was funded. It's not currently filled, but a position that we're recommending eliminating from the org chart in 2021. And then this next item's been requested for some time, and excited to be part of the recommendation to fulfill this position to full-time. But our conservation supervisor, Courtney, is the incumbent, and she's doing a great job for us at Lac La Ronde. And their Friends Board, the Parks Commission, has been looking forward to having this position filled at a full-time level for some time. And the Friends is stepping up and funding this upgrade to full-time in 2021. So excited about that. 2% merit is included in this budget, up to for all non-represented employees. No fund balance is needed to meet this budget to make it balance. We've consistently not had to apply fund balance. I know last year regarding a last minute proposal, there was some discussion of adding fund balance or utilizing fund balance to balance the budget. That decision was not made to go forward with that, and this budget that's before you does not include fund balance either. The adjustments we're going to go through in a minute, they total $987,000 from the original department requests, and then our contingency currently stands at $100,000. And there's some wiggle language in these highlights because these numbers do change. We're still receiving information. We received a state aid number just today. It went down $3,000 or so it doesn't. That one didn't help our cause, but some go up, and I guess unfortunately most go down. But these next two items are reflective of the current state, the COVID pandemic that we're dealing with. We are recommending a decrease in our AR collection due to the state rules to not allow the collection program to go forward during this time. And then the next one is kind of a good news, bad news thing. We received CARES funding for both taxi and the routes to recovery. We've already received some money, but we're anticipating even more money in the routes to recovery through CARES Act. And so we're going to be facing single audits at the federal level for both of those entities, and Baker Tilly has estimated those costs, so our auditing fees are going up. The proposed tax levy increase is 5.3% or 1.1 million. I'll say at this time we're still waiting on some numbers to come in, and that'll move that number a little bit up or down. And then the proposed rate at this time, current rate was 785 for 2020, and I'm recommending a 794 rate or a 1.12% increase to our tax rate. Elections have decreased or proposed to decrease in 2021 due to fewer elections. This next series of items are like highlights included in individual budgets. The police department is recommending, and I'm supporting the body camera program included in this year's budget at $76,000, and there will be an ongoing cost, an annual cost. It's basically a computer system that we're buying, and the hardware is, Chief can give you more details about that, but the hardware is less significant as it is the technology behind it. So there'll be as with most things of this nature, a continuous cost once we implement the body camera program. We did make some corrections, and actually the departments made corrections on their own into the gas and fuel line items due to thankfully lower costs in 2021. Our debt service levy decreased by 120. The action that you guys took as a council last meeting due to the refunding, the great rate that we were able to receive drove a lot of this savings that you see before you. And then the levy in the library is recommended or being proposed. We haven't had a chance to meet with them yet, but the library staff board is recommending an increase at $58,000 at this time. Again, with some health insurance changes, that was a big chunk of this increase. Some health insurance increases in the area. Number could move down as we gain more clarity on our health insurance. And then shared revenue, expenditure restraint, the bulk of this $47,000 is expenditure restraint, a decrease in that area. State transportation aid revenue also decreased at a significant level, I would say. $194,000 is certainly significant, and that's all formula based on what we have spent in the last 3 and 5 years on our transportation based on our lane miles and the amount of money that the state puts into the program. Good news item about CARES Act money filling the previous need for levy and taxi. And then expenditure restraint, it's for 2022, is something that we've been talking about as a administration and council for the last couple of years. The end for West Bend qualifying for expenditure restraint is still coming near. Thankfully, it's not here in 2021, and the actions of this budget should preserve it for 2022 as well. So certainly a good news, as that number has gone down over the years, but it's still over $400,000 and a significant revenue source for the city of West Bend. And then this next item is a little more complicated as the state imposes levy limits. On an annual basis, you're allowed to use the levy that's available to you based on the levy limit formula. If you don't, the balance of those funds go into a bank, if you will, a reserve where you can tap them when you need them for future years. And this budget recommends $155,000 of the available $258,000 that we have to us. That's available to us for about 5 years, and the expenditure for this amount would go away in 2022. So we're recommending it because we believe we need it, not because we have it and that it's close to expire. And then the last bullet just references a GFOA recommendation that we're including the recommendations from previous reviews, and then a new format that the GFOA standard is requesting for the 5-year long-range planning. So more transparency around our 5-year general fund projection, revenue, and expenses. So look forward to that as we continue to build it. Any questions on this document? Alderman Kennedy, if you want to facilitate them, I can do my best to answer, or want me to jump into the second document and go from there.
I think we have a few questions. So Alderman Allen, go ahead.
Yeah, Jay, the part-time administrative position, what department was that in?
So if there was a question, I didn't hear it. If somebody could
The question
use
was,
the podium mic and
the
repeat it to me, please.
The part-time administrative position that was eliminated? What department was that in?
what department?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
What department was the eliminated position in?
Oh, yeah, thanks. The administration/mayor department, it's a position that was a half-time executive assistant position shared between administration and the mayor, 25% each. And that was a position that we eliminated for a long time ago. One that, as Mayor Jenkins was coming into office, we had honest conversations about level of support and need for that additional assistant, and both of us agreed that that position could be eliminated at that time.
Second question, the 2% merit increase for non-represented employees. How does is that a pool of 2% across the non-represented employees? Or is that the maximum and we have enough set aside that everyone could be 2%?
If I heard the question correctly, it's the latter. We have 2% in this proposed budget for all non-representative employees, assuming that they meet the merit standard that's part of the performance evaluation that we perform on an annual basis.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Alderman Dolnick?
Jay, can you hear me? Well, okay. You may have to relay.
Sure.
What I was wondering about, Jay, is would it be possible for the next meeting, I just happened to think about this, to have a chart that shows, let's say the last 5 years, the history of the levy and the history of the tax increases, just to give some historical background on how we're doing on both of those?
Can we get a snapshot of the last 5 years and the levies and how they've increased and changed in that time frame so we have historical reference?
Yes, absolutely. We can provide that.
Just the percentages is, I think, would be easiest to work with.
Percent change is what we're thinking. Okay.
Yep. Will do. Thanks.
I had a question also, Jay. The $30,000 in ambulance revenue collection with the decrease, is that something we can potentially see in another year by collecting? if we're just not collecting it in 2021 for pandemic? Would we potentially pick that up in 2022 when people are going to be hopefully able to pay?
Great question, and honestly, I do not know the response to that, but I'll work with Chief Kudek and Carrie, who does the bill collecting in our system, to get that answer for you for the 12th.
Thank you. Anyone else have questions for Jay? Mayor Jenkins?
Just to summarize, Jay, with the tax rate increase of the 1.12, would it be correct to say that a majority of the costs are from health insurance and then public safety? Just so everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, the police and fire are the, and historically they have been, the most important, one of the highest priorities of our organization, and they also have the largest share of employees. So by nature, they are our largest cost. We did have some contracts that have been signed and that we're fulfilling appropriately so with this contract, or with this budget. So salaries are included in that, but yes, absolutely. There's about a $500,000 increase in public safety, which includes a little more than just police and fire, but for the police and fire public safety area for 2021 over 2020. So I think it's fair to say that there's also 200,000 plus that's included in the budget for health insurance increase at this time.
I'm optimistic that I know our team is continuing to work on that health insurance front. So if we can continue to net those little wins and savings there, that'll definitely help us in the long run. So keep it up.
But is it now a good time to talk through that second document?
Yep, go ahead.
And if you don't want me to go in as much detail, just give me the high sign, Megan, and I'll buzz through it. But this document was emailed to you as well today. I will share with you at a high level the items that were removed from the requested budgets, starting with the assessor at $25,000. We removed some legal fees that Jeff was proposing. We're covering those legal fees under insurance, thankfully, right now. Jeff was being proactive and thinking that there might be some fees outside of what's covered, and then also some contract work for the upcoming revaluation. We are pushing the revaluation from 2021 to 2022. So we think we'll have a little more time to prepare for it appropriately, and then strategically allow for COVID to run its course, if you will, and not wonder if our revaluation in 2021 is too impacted by the pandemic. So we're hopeful to have that behind us a little further by waiting a year, and I think that's a strategic move on behalf of the assessor department. So we're recommending that $25,000 elimination. Building inspection, we've had a couple of homes. We're in a really fortunate state in West Bend of our high housing quality. There are a few, however, that at times need to be taken down, and the city unfortunately gets involved in those. Mark Petrovich in this budget request was trying to be proactive. Unfortunately, we didn't find it in the cards to include that $25,000 to raise buildings as need be. So we'll continue to bring those before you and ask for fund balance requests if we need to do so outside of the building inspection regular budget. Engineering reflects a couple of things. There is a position that Max has requested, engineering technician position that was on our org chart and was removed, and he's requesting it back. There's certainly a workload in engineering that would warrant that. Unfortunately, it's just not in the cards to add that position at this time. We did share with the mayor that this is a position that I'm supportive of, and just as soon as we can fund it, I will be recommending that we do so. It also includes some pavement markings that Max was hoping to get done in this budget. We do have other pavement marking money in our budget. So that's what the 58,000 reflects, those two items. Fire is a small item that we were sizing an account. In HR, that's where we keep our health insurance costs. So that 349,000 reflects a $400,000 reduction in overall health insurance costs based on the presentation that Alex gave to you last Monday. That 349 is the general fund portion of that. And then municipal buildings, it's a $10,000 reduction, again, allocated. So impact to the general of more like 9,000. Reduction in the maintaining of municipal buildings. They were looking for some additional money to maintain our buildings that are aging. Parks is a combination of a couple of line items, some overtime, and then right sizing in a water usage fund. And police, when we met with Chief, we squeezed him, and he was certainly willing to recognize that we were in dire need of additional savings, and there's a vehicle in here that he's pushing one more year than what he would have liked to. That vehicle and a reimbursement for education for a new officer, as we're now paying for recruit school on an as-needed basis in order to be more competitive for the new recruits that come out of school. So we're able to push one of those payments off a year and then a vehicle off. So thanks, Chief, for that. Public Works, I respect Doug's request for the bulk of this is a $250,000 ask in the landfill area. Doug felt under pressure a bit last year for not having additional funds in the budget when we were saying that we're in the red at the end of 19, partly because of the landfill overruns. So he did attempt to budget for more monies in this area to cover recognizable costs that are coming. I do think that we are going to spend more money than what we have budgeted for in 2021 at this time in the landfill. We're hopeful that we can replace some of this, and as the final numbers come in, and you saw in contingency that we had $100,000, we might try to shift some of that money into the landfill area here. And the other $15,000 in this account is a contracted service that he was hopeful to contract out to, and after discussion at the budget meeting, we jointly made the decision to pull that $15,000. In vehicle maintenance, it's a bit of a cleanup of two line items, one for taxi and one for regular vehicle maintenance. You see the subtotal there, and then the 164,000 is due to the CARES Act money coming in for taxi. So we're thankful that the CARES Act money was able to take the taxi off the levy for 2021. And then the total of $987,000 that I removed from the budget requests from individual department heads at this time. Any questions or comments about any of those items or anything else?
Alderman Dolnick has a question.
I get a little nervous when I think I'm seeing deferred maintenance taking place, and I'm referring to the 9240 under municipal buildings, because Jay characterized that as money that was going to go for upkeep on our municipal buildings. And some communities have learned a lesson about deferring that maintenance, and I'm wondering, 9240 is really not that much in the total scheme of the budget, but could have an impact on maintenance of the buildings. So is it that wise to take it out? On a cost-benefit analysis, in other words.
Yep, that's fair. We certainly can have that conversation in more detail. I will share with you that although I'm taking out 10,000, I'm also leaving 10,000 of new money that they've requested. So the total request was 20,000 for additional spending in this area, and we were able to keep 10,000 of that request with this budget.
Oh, okay. Well, that's better. That helps. Thank you.
Alderman Allen has a question as well.
Yeah, the HR costs or the savings from healthcare, we had a big discussion at the last council meeting about alternatives, the state. Has that been looked into?
Yes, Michelle and I had a chance to chat after that last meeting. We are looking into the state health plan. We will not be able to provide those cost comparison numbers for 2021. It's too late in the season. However, we will be able to do so in early 21 for 2022. So we won't be able to give the comparison of the state health plan for this coming budget. I'll say watch for it for the future, and know that staff and the Horton Group are working hard to drive the cost savings of our existing plan into the 2021 budget.
All right, thank you.
And maybe one more point, Megan, on that topic, that as you know, the mayor mentioned regarding being hopeful, when I went through the $350,000 taking out of the health insurance, I am hopeful that there are some additional savings that we can learn more about in the next 2 weeks. We're just, and you heard that from Alex directly, he's having those conversations with Magellan and the other entities that are bidding on our health insurance plan, like actively this week and next week. So we just will learn more as we get that information from the Horton Group. And then I'm hopeful that we can drive that number down even further.
Alderman Model?
Yeah, hi, Jay. This is a question about the part-time position you're talking about for Max. You said something about waiting till we can afford it or till it's in the cards. Is there a particular metrics you're using for that?
Yeah, great question. It's not a part-time position, so it's a full-time position that's being requested. I'm hopeful, and you've all heard me, department heads and council and mayor, say this before, that we are really close with our TIDs to be in a position where they're returning money to the city and not costing us money, not being TID on levy any longer. So last year, we were able to pay back water and sewer in a couple of instances with some significant dollars. This budget, as you know, has 2021 TIF proceeds that are going to the Riverwalk Phase 1 construction. And in budget year 2022, we should be in a position where in our 5-year projection that'll be in the budget will help start to show that, where they're returning some of those dollars back to the general fund levy. And so quite frankly, hopefully as soon as 2022.
Great. I know Max could use the help. Thanks, Jay.
Any more questions for Jay? All right. Does that conclude your presentation then, Jay?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for joining us via the WebEx. And then the last...
Forward to seeing you all next week.
We will see you back here then. Then the last thing, last item for consideration is schedule the date and time for the public hearing regarding the 2021 operating budget. And I believe we have decided that will be October 12th at 6 p.m. In the council. And then we will be offering a WebEx.
Nope. Sorry, October 12th is the special meeting next week at 6. And then the public hearing is November, is it 2nd?
November 9th,
9th?
at 6:30.
I'm
November
sorry.
9th.
So the public hearing will be November 9th, I'm sorry, at 6:30. And with that, any other corrections? All right, with that, I can adjourn the meeting of finance. Thank you, everyone.